All right, I think my mic is working now. Let me check. Let me check if you can hear me. Mm, yeah, I'm online. Let me check if you can hear. Let me can check if you can hear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Um, Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right. I believe everyone can see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll kick off in the next 2 minutes. So we're kicking off now. You can all hear me, right? So first of all, welcome to the one of the CCNA one training for deaf first participants. Let me quickly make a co-host so that I wouldn't need to be accepting people into the group. Um, did you, if you received an email invite, please let me just see your hands. Let me know. You received an email. Okay, okay. Robert. All right. Any other person? Thank you, Robert. Uh, any other person received an email invite? Okay, no other person. Okay. Chukebuka Daniel. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me see. Okay. After that, also, if you fully enrolled on the platform, okay, you can you can drop the hands now, please. Robert and Chukebuka can drop the hands. Okay. Thank you. So, if you fully enrolled on the NetAcad platform, you can raise a hand also. Okay. Two, three. Any other person? Jason, name me. You're not on the platform. Juliet. Okay, thank you. Let me just put those hands down from here. Okay, just a minute. If you've been able to access or download the resources, you could raise your hand now again. Just trying to do a survey. Okay, 3 persons. All right. So, immediately after this first class, you'll be receiving an email so you can get the resources for the lab. Then, for those who don't know how to access the resources, the students' resources, I'm going to show it after this class so that everyone is carried. And also, this class will be recorded so I can see access it after now. All right. So, I'll be sending another set of emails. So if you're here and you will not receive this, then I know there has to be a challenge somewhere. So let me see how it goes. Um, okay, so I'll be sending out another set of emails now. Sending. All right, so emails have been sent. So everyone could just check if, let me, I'm just trying to do know if everyone usually gets emails. So you could check your email now. Let's see. So if you just received email, you can just raise your hand. If you just received email from Dream Life. Okay. Yeah. That's one, two, three. How about you, Daniel and Juliet? Okay. Um, so we'll be kicking off from here. Just trying to. I'll be give me a minute. So on the course there are some videos that you should always take note of, and also there are quizzes every like it was said during the orientation. There are quizzes. Okay, so ensure you participate in the quizzes for every chapter. So after now, the chapter one quiz will be unlocked, so you can take it and test your knowledge. It's good that I test your knowledge every time. And one good thing about this this training is that okay, someone saying token expired. Okay, for everyone that is experiencing one difficulty or the other, just ensure that you notify us on the group. Ensure you notify us on the group, then we'll just troubleshoot it immediately so that you'll be carried along. All right, so let's kick off. I'll start the recording now. Oh, it's recording already. So networking today. Um, everyone knows what should know what a network is, right? Just interconnection of different devices. So that's what a network is. So let's look at what Cisco has for us from the networking essentials. So in this module, we'll be talking about how network affects our lives, network components, different network representations and topologies, uh, common types of networks, internet connection. What a reliable network is. We'll know some network trends, which is BYOD, bring your own device. We'll also touch the surface of network security and also look at just very few things about the IT professional. And at the end, we'd see some kind of a list of certifications that are connected with this course. All right, how let's see how network affects our lives. This communication is almost as important to us as our reliance to air, water, food, and shelter. In today's world, through the use of networks, we are connected like never before. So on the online course, there's a video there. I can't play this one now because I'm actually going to be teaching the same thing. So there's actually no boundary to network and communication because right now technology has evolved to the point where we have satellites, so you can communicate from one country to another. So even if you are in a landscape where there seems to be no network, so you can actually create one there. You used to watch all these movies now where there'll be network problem or some kind of pandemic, and they're looking for how to get to the highest building, maybe to mount or to connect to a tower or a network provider or just masses must just to connect to another set of individuals somewhere around the world. So that tells you that no matter what, communication is possible via wireless network. So let's look at network components. Um, host roles. Okay, so every computer on a network is called a host or an end device. So we are now connected via this WebEx meeting. Our systems or our mobile devices are called end devices, or you can call them hosts. So there are servers. Then servers are computers that provide information to the end devices. So you must have heard what servers are. Sometimes we think servers are some kind of devices on their own. So servers are actually computer devices like your own right there. If you have a personal computer, your computer can act as a server. So the only difference to yours is your a server and a host or any device is that the server is one providing the information. Okay. So when you browse on the internet, you download data from the server. So we have email servers, web servers, file servers. Clients are computers that send requests to servers to retrieve information. So web page from a web server, email from a web server, those are examples. So we have email, web, and file. So those are different types of server, like I mentioned earlier, email servers, web servers, and file servers. All right, so you can connect to a network via peer-to-peer. So it's possible to have a device to be a client and a server in a peer-to-peer network. So this type of network is only recommended for very small networks. So when we come to different kinds of network, to understand this better. So it's easy to set up, it's less complex, and it's low cost. Okay. And it's used for simple tasks, transferring files and sharing printers. So peer-to-peer happens when you connect two systems together. You can do that via a wireless network, which is a Wi-Fi, or you can do that using a cable, an Ethernet cable. Okay, so then while I was in school, we usually transfer heavy files to ourselves, especially games, using all these Cat6 and Cat5 cables via this peer-to-peer connections. So So an end device is where message originates from or where it is received. So data originates with an end device, flows through the network, and arrives at an end device. So at every at every point where there's an end, or at every node, which is going to be the end of an information, that's an end device. So this right here is an end device, this is an end device, this is an end device also. This is just like a switch that is receiving the information and passing it to an end device. So an IP phone can serve as an end device. So we have intermediary devices. So intermediary devices is what helps multiple devices to connect to each other. And examples are wireless router, wireless access points, firewall appliance, switches, and so on. So management of data as it flows through a network is also the role of an intermediary device. So which includes generating and retransmit data signals, maintain information about what pathway exists in the network, notify other devices of errors and communication failures. So these are actually where hackers always target. So hackers can target several things. They could target an end device, they can target an intermediary device. Okay. So as long as they just need to find a way to connect to that network in order to steal information. We'll come to that. So we have network media, and network media has to do with the means at, by which data is being transferred from one end device to another. This could be metal wires, okay, it could be glass or plastic fibers, okay, and wireless transmission. So it could a network media can either be copper, it can either be wired or wireless. You get what I'm saying? All right. So let's look at network representations and topology. Um, when you talk about topology, okay, it just has to do with diagrams, okay. So network diagrams, often called topology diagrams, use symbols to represent devices within a network. So when you are asked to draw a network topology, it just means that you're going to be bringing different illustrations, okay, draw lines, draw boxes or gadgets just to show how they are being connected to each other. So that's actually a network topology. And important terms to know include the NIC, which is network interface card, the physical port, the interface. So often the terms port and interface are used interchangeably. Okay. Remember we talk about end devices. So these are examples of end devices. There's a computer, laptop, printers, IP phones, wireless tablets, and daily presence endpoints. So intermediary devices, I mentioned them earlier, OS router, LAN, router, multiplayer switch, and firewall appliance. So we also have network media. So network media can be wireless. So wireless, this is the when you come to packet tracer, this is what the wireless net media will look like. Okay, when you want to use LAN, this is what it looks like. One media also. All right, so let's look at topology diagram. So there's physical topology. Physical topology used to illustrate the physical location of intermediary devices and cable installation. So when in a company now, when you come to drawing the network topology of a company, you are going to be having two diagrams, okay, the physical topology and the logical topology. So logical topology illustrates devices, ports, and the addressing scheme of the network. So the physical topology actually just contains, for example, the first floor, second floor, the shelf, okay, where a particular system is positioned, the location, its room number, the table number. Okay, those have to do with physical topology. But when it comes to or logical topology, this is where you begin to write their IP addresses, um, majorly the IP addressing, okay, and their position on the different VLANs that you might have in your um, company. All right, let's look at common types of home networks. Okay, connects a few computers to each other and the internet. We have small office, home office. So which enables computer within a home or remote office to connect to a corporate network. So from here, for these friends that work remotely, you will have something like a small office or home office where you can connect to your office at work and work from home. So we also have medium to large networks. So this has to do with many locations with hundreds of thousands of interconnected computers. Then we have worldwide network, which connects hundreds of millions of computers worldwide, such as the internet. Now we'll begin to understand all these things better and how they work or operate. So we have LANs and WANs. So network infrastructure vary greatly in terms of size and area they cover, number of users connected, number of and types of services available, and area of responsibility. So the two most common types are LAN and WAN. Okay, local area network and wide area network. So a LAN is a network infrastructure that spans a small geographical area. We all did this in primary school, I'm sure of that. Then a WAN is a network infrastructure that spans a wide geographical area. So if you observe these two diagrams, you see that this one has to do with just about. So LANs are connected to each other using WANs. WANs may be copper wires, fiber optics, cables, and wireless transmitters. So the internet is not owned by any individual or group. The following groups were developed to help maintain structure on the internet. We have the IETF. So we have IETF, which has to do with the Internet Engineering Task Force. So we also have ICANN, which is the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. So, okay, but can you hear me? Let me stop sharing.
Yes, yes, we can hear you now.
But can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So there's also IAB. All right. Let's look at intranet and extranet. So an intranet is a private collection of lands and WANs internal to an organization that is meant to be accessible only to the organization members or other authority. Then an organization might use an extranet to provide secure access to their network for individuals who work for a different organization that need access to their data on their network. So just for example, when you get to schools, okay, so networks or um, people that have access to the network within the schools. Okay, that network now we call it the intranet. Okay, then for people like guests, for example, when you want to get to Access Bank, now if the one in Uniport, I think there was a time they were providing internet access to students. So that wireless network students connect to can be regarded as the extranet. Yeah. So in that way, students have been able to access the internet via their wireless network. But now, within the bank, all bank staffs are connected to a particular network. We will call that one
Hello?
the intranet, okay? Because that's what gives
Hello?
people
Can you hear
connected to
me?
the extranet and also have access to files. Oh yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Okay, sorry, I don't know if what you're explaining has a different image from what I'm saying because I'm still saying lands and wants, but I'm not seeing the other one from my end.
Okay, let me stop sharing and share my screen.
Thank you.
All right, I'm sharing my screen again. Can you all see my screen? The presentation is not moving anymore. Okay, let me see if I can do a change in the network. Okay, my screen is blank, so just give me a minute. Let me rectify that. Once you can see my screen, please just let me know. Is it showing now?
Yes, yes, showing now.
All right. Please, can I get more responses just to be sure that at least a good number of us can see?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
All right, all right. So I was explaining the intranet and extranet, and I said earlier that intranet is accessed by only the staffs of the company. Then extranet is what is used to provide services for customers, okay, or maybe people that want to have access to the company's services. So I was giving an example of Access Bank. There was a time in Uniport Access Bank provided internet for students to connect to the network, and students were able to browse using their Wi-Fi. So meanwhile, staffs could also browse, but they were connected to a different network, and that network they are connected to will be regarded as the intranet because connecting to that network will give them access to um, files that will need different permissions before you can access. But students will not have access to those files. So when we get deeply into this course, you would understand all these things better. So just get the point that extranet is used for providing secure access to the network of a company or organizations for individuals who want to or need access to the data of their network. All right, internet connections. So
I don't know if you can hear me, but the audio is not coming up. I can hear what you're saying. Likewise, the others.
Hello, can anybody hear me? I don't know if I'm the only one that's not getting the audio.
I can hear you. I think the network is from his side. He just went off now, so I don't know if I have to wait for him also.
Okay, let's just see if I can wait for him.
Okay. Good everyone. Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, indicate. Oh, okay. Yes. My colleague had network challenge. So let me take up from there. So we're talking about the home and small office internet connections, where we talked about kinds of cables and their descriptions, or kinds of connections and their descriptions. So cable, which you all know, is the number one you all see around. It has high bandwidth and it's always on. So internet offered by cable television service providers. These are the kind of cables. And because of this program, we'll see the different kind of cables and how they are used for different kinds of connection. We have the DSL, that is the digital signal line. It also has a high bandwidth. It's always on. Used for what? Internet that runs over a telephone line, that is the digital signal line. We also have the cellular. Yes, the cellular. It uses the cell phone network to connect to the internet. That is your mobile phone now. What it uses to connect to the internet is the what? Cellular. Then the satellites, which we all hear and know. The major benefits is to rural what areas without internet service providers. That is where we have the popular DSTV. It uses satellite communication. When it dishes position to view the satellite using the eye of sight principle to communicate. Then the dial-up telephone. The dial-up telephone, an inexpensive low bandwidth option using the what? A modem. Modem, which is what? Modulator, demodulator. It enables us to also access the internet. Okay, so business internet connections, still a kind of connections now. In corporate business, connections may require higher bandwidth. Now, what is bandwidth now? Bandwidth is the distance between two communication devices. Yes, the distance between two communication devices. It has higher bandwidth, dedicated connections, and managed services. And that is what we are talking about, business internet connections. And what are the types of connections that are associated to these business internet connections? We have the dedicated leased line. And what does it mean? It means these are what reserved circuits within the service provider's network that connect distant offices with private voice and or data. Yes, that is that is to say that it is what dedicated. And we have the Ethernet one, which is what wireless what area network. Now this extends LAN across technology in the WAN. So what is LAN? LAN, which is what the local area network. And because of this this training, you understand what the LAN is and also what the WAN is. But let me give you a little insight of what these ones are. The LAN is a communication enterprise or entity that happens in a very close proximity. For instance, an office in a building. Why a WAN, which is what wireless area network, will be another LAN in a different kind of what office. So in office A, it has a local area network. In office B, it has a local area network. Now for those two offices to communicate, or those two buildings to communicate together, it's going to make the principle of what WAN, which is a wide area network. Now we also have the DSL, that is the digital signal line. So business DSL is available in various formats, including the symmetric digital signal lines. Oh, come on, and of course the satellite. And this can provide a connection when a wired solution is not available. I hope I'm audible enough. I hope I'm audible enough. If okay. Thank you, Robert. Okay. Now, the converging what network. Before converged networks, an organization would have been separately cabled for telephone, video, and what data. And each of these networks will use different technologies to carry the signal. Different technologies now, we are talking about the medium at which this network propagate or move. Each of these technologies would use a different set of rules and standards. That is where we begin to talk about protocols. For instance, if you look at this first image here, you will see this device, PCA, is communicating with another PC on the other end. And you can see the medium, computer network, and the message is moving across. The rule, agreement, standard has to be, they have to follow each other. They have to understand the rules before they go communicate. The same goes to this telephone, and the same goes to this dish over here, trying to communicate to send signal to this monitor over here. There are a set of rules that govern those kinds of communication. I will look at them one after the other. So converged data network carry multiple services on converged data networks carry multiple services on one link, including data, voice, and video. Converged networks can also deliver data standard. For instance, you see these different communication devices we have here. As it moves across the network, the medium, it to follow the set of rules for it to send the message you want to send to its own appropriate end devices. And information over a medium to another PC. Yes, it has to follow a protocol or a standard or a set of rules or an agreement before it will send that information to this PC. If that information is not put in, if that agreement is not put in place, this message will not move from either from this device to the other end device or from this other device to this other end device. Okay. In your material, in your course, you will see this video to demonstrate how you to download and install the packet tracer. You know, we talked about this yesterday, that you should try and download the packet tracer. Today, you'll be given a take-home task where you'll be using the packet tracer to accomplish an assignment. Also, in your material, you will also watch the video and to help you to navigate the packet tracer, and you customize the packet tracer interface. And after that, there will be a task for you to also take. So in the packet tracer, you do the following. The network model in this activity incorporates many of the technologies that you will master in the CCNA studies. Note, it is not important that you understand everything. I'll repeat that. It is not important that you understand everything. Everything will still be new to you. But just take your time to just understand the little you can. And from there we'll progress. So the task there is what 1.5.7. That is where you see that particular task. All right, reliable networks. Reliable networks. How can we say that our networks are reliable? There are things that are put in place for us to know this, for us to know that our network are reliable. Network architecture refers to the what technologies that support the infrastructure that moves data across the network. And there are 4 basic characteristics that the underlying architecture needs to address to meet user expectations. And what is that? The fault tolerance. Yes, if it's faulty, how could it be able to tolerate? Scalability, is it scalable? Does it have the ability to take beyond what it has to take? the quality of service. If it is a voice message, would there be interference? Or how will the interference be reduced? The quality of service. Security. Is it secure? Is it secure in a way that we don't have threat actors or intruders or hackers coming into the system to listen to whatever we are, the information we're trying to communicate? All these has to be put in place before we know that our network are what? Reliable. So fault tolerance. A fault tolerant network limits the impact of a failure by limiting the number of affected devices. And multiple paths are required for fault tolerance. Multiple paths are required for fault tolerance. Required networks provide redundancy by implementing a packet switched network. So packet switching splits traffic into packets that are routed over a network. You could say packets are data or information that you send. Yes. And each packet could theoretically take a different path to the destination. And this is not possible with a circuit switch network, which establish dedicated circuits. So if you look at this image here, you can see that redundant connections allow for alternative paths. And if a device or a link fails, the user experience is affected. Are we following? Okay. Now, the scalability. Now, a scalable network can expand quickly and easily to support new users and applications without impacting the performance of service to existing users. That is when we're talking about how scalable the network is now. Can it be able to accommodate new users? If new users come in, what will happen? Will the network crash? Will there be distortion? Will there be low quality of service? So network designers follow accepted standards and protocols in order to make the network scalable. So from this image, additional users and whole networks can be connected to the internet without degrading performance for existing users. Okay. So the quality of service. The quality of service. Voice and live video transmission require higher expectation for those services being delivered. So have you ever watched a video with constant break and pauses? Like our normal language, we say if the video is cracking. This is the cause when there is a higher demand for bandwidth than the available. And the quality of service isn't configured. So if you don't know configure the quality of service, you will be having issues where you have pauses and breaks in your video. So quality of service is the primary mechanism used to ensure reliable net delivery of content for all users. And with the quality of service policy in place, the router can more easily manage the flow of data and avoid traffic. So if you also look at this image, this is the quality of service managed by the router, which is this guy here, ensures that priorities are matched to the type of communication and its importance to the organization. So web pages can usually receive a lower priority. A voice over internet protocol, that is the VoIP call, will need priority to maintain a smooth, uninterrupted user experience. And the last one, of course, which is the network security. Which is the network security. So there are two main types of network security that must be addressed. There's the network infrastructure and information security. Under the network infrastructure security, physical security of network devices and preventing unauthorized access to the device. That is under the network infrastructure security. When we talk about the infrastructure security, physical security of the network devices, how can we protect the network and preventing unauthorized access, human to be able to access that particular device. The next one is information security. Protection of the information or data transmitted over the internet. You can see here the two important features of the network security concept. We should be able to protect the infrastructure and also protect the information being transmitted. Three goals of network security. Out of those three goals, confidentiality. Only intended recipients can read the data. If I am sending an information from PC A to PC B, I want only PC B to receive that information without any other PC receiving the information. The information has to be confidential. Integrity. It assures that the data has not been altered during transmission. For instance, I am sending a message from PC A to PC B. There shouldn't be intermediate or intermediary devices sniffing those particular information and taking it somewhere else, and thereby giving PCB a wrong information from what PCA has sent. Then the availability now. Availability. Assurance of timely and reliable access to data for authorized users. Yes, the information has to also be available. For instance, if you look at this image over here, you see that administration can protect the network with software and hardware security and by preventing physical access to network devices. Security measures protect the network from unauthorized access. That is where we begin to talk about your login details. That is the username and your password. I know what it means when you are asked to use a more secure password to protect your online space. Now, network trends. What are the trends we have? So the recent trends, the role of the network must adjust and continually transform in order to be able to keep up with the new technologies and end user devices as they constantly come to the market. So several networking trends that affect organization and customers are what? BYOD, which is what? Bring your own device. When you say bring your own device, it could be your personal, your PC, your laptop, or even your smartphone. We have the online collaborations, we have video communications, and we have cloud computing. Cloud what? Computing, which is one of the major trends we have now. Now, you bring your own device allows users to use their own devices, giving them more opportunities and greater flexibility. So BYOD allows an end user to have the freedom to use personal tools to access information and communication using their what? Their laptops, their notes, that should be notes and books, tablet, smartphone, e-readers, and so on. So bring your own device means any device with any ownership, use what? Anywhere. That is where we get to see the importance of what? Bring your own device. Online collaborations. Collaborate and work with others over the network on joint projects. Collaboration tools, for instance, this particular software we are using for this particular meeting is what called Cisco WebEx. Yes, Cisco WebEx. That is the software we use by Cisco to do video conferencing. And it gives users a way to instantly connect and interact. Collaboration is a very high priority for businesses and in education. And Cisco WebEx Teams is a multifunctional collaboration tool. So you can send instant messages, as some of you have been sending and we have been seeing. There's also post images, post videos and links, and also share your screen as the case may be. Video communication. Now, video calls are made to anyone, regardless of where they are located. Some of the new features, for instance, the one WhatsApp made was that you can actually make video calls to WhatsApp. Video conferencing is also a powerful tool for communicating with others. A video is becoming a critical requirement for effective collaboration. So Cisco telepresence powers is one way of working where everyone and what everywhere. Now, your course material, there's a video which is what 1.7.5. You see it by the bottom left of your screen there. So it's a Cisco WebEx for hurdles. You play this video, you see one of the importance of using the Cisco WebEx. Now, cloud computing allows us to store personal files or back up our data on servers over the internet. Yes, that's just the total job of the cloud. And your application can also be accessed using the cloud and allow businesses to deliver to any device anywhere in the world. Cloud computing is made possible by data centers. When we say data centers, there is a place where informations are kept. And because of these data centers, it has made it possible for cloud computing to exist. Smaller companies that can't afford their own data centers lease servers and storage devices from larger data center organizations in the cloud. For instance, the AWS, the Amazon Web Server, and the Microsoft Azure. Those are one of the popular cloud service providers we have. So there are 4 types of cloud. We have the public cloud, which is available to the general public through a pay-per-use model, and sometimes they are for free. That is the public cloud. We have the private cloud as well, which is intended for specific organizations or entity, such as the government. So public cloud and private cloud now, we know the difference. Once it's public, it's made public. Once it's private, it's private. Once especially private organizations and the government makes this particular private cloud. We have the hybrid cloud. They are made up of 2 or more cloud types. For example, part custom and part public. So when we say part custom, a bit private and also a bit public. And each part remains a distinctive objective, but both are connected using this. Now, built to meet the need of a specific industry, such as healthcare or media, and can be either private or public. So what are the 4 types of clouds now? We have the public cloud, we have the private cloud, we have the hybrid clouds, and we have the what? Custom clouds. So technology trends in the home.
Can you hear me?
Yes, technology trends in the home. So smart home technology is a growing trend that allows technology to be integrated into everyday appliances, which allows them to interact with other devices. Often ovens might know that what time it cook a meal for you by communicating with your calendar or what time you are scheduled to be home. So there are some advanced cloud home appliances. Some IoT devices are implemented in some ovens, and it will tell you when to cook your meal and also remind you on your calendar via your phone. Smart home technology is currently being developed for all rooms within a house. And of course, they also make use of the cloud. Now, networking. Powerline networking. Powerline networking can allow devices to connect to a LAN via data network cables or wireless communication are not a viable option. Yes. When we talk about that with LAN, we're talking about the local area network now. So using a standard power line adapter, devices can connect to the LAN, that is the local area network. Here, there is an electrical outlet by sending data on certain frequencies. Power line networking is especially useful when wireless access points cannot reach all the devices in the home. So if you look at this image here, you could see the power line being drawn. This pink line here, which is the power wired connection. You can see different ports. This PLSK400, which 4-port power line adapter. So this adapter could be in one particular room, and the power line could take information from that place to another adapter, and it's spread across the rooms or offices, as the case may be, and your end devices would draw information from those adapters. So that is one use of the power line. Now, wireless bandwidth. In addition to the DSL, that is digital signal line and cable, wireless is another option used to connect homes and small businesses and the internet. So more commonly found in rural environments. A wireless internet service provider, WISP, is an internet service provider that connects subscriber to the designated access point or hotspot. One of the popular wireless internet service provider we know is a mast where we used to connect our MTN, Airtel, and Glo. Those masts, you call it mast, but it's actually called baseband. Those are the places where you mount and devices that doesn't have access to the internet will connect through that wireless broadband services and to connect to the internet. So wireless broadband is another solution for the home and small businesses and uses the same cellular technology used by a smartphone. So an antenna is installed outside the house, providing wireless connection for devices in the home. So for instance, your DSTV at home now, which is connecting to the internet, you could face it to whatever base station it's receiving the network from, and you get internet access. The network security. This should be the last for this particular module. Now, security threats. Network security is an integral part of networking, regardless of the size of the network. The network security that is implemented must take into account the environment while securing the data, but still allowing for quality of service that is expected of the network. Now, security in network involves many protocols, technologies, devices, tools, and techniques in order to secure data and mitigate threats. Threat actors or threat vectors might be external or internal. Yes, the importance of securing our network. So external threats, which could be worms, viruses, and even Trojan horses. We also have the spyware and the hardware, zero-day attack, threat actor attack, DOS, that is denial of service attack, then the data interception and theft. We also have the identity theft. All these are external threats. The internal threats, which could be lost or stolen devices. Yes, if your device is stolen or is lost, those are internal threats. We have the accidental misuse by employees. Yes, some employees can be very careless and misuse whatever opportunity that will be given to them. We also have the malicious employees. Some employees will be there but they have interior motive. So network, those are security threats that we have. And what are the solutions now? So security must be implemented in multiple layers using more than one security solutions. And network security component for home or small office network will be what? Antivirus and anti-spyware software. Yes, you can install antivirus into your system and also anti-spyware to also spy out if there are intruders coming into your network. So they should be installed on your end devices. Firewalls featuring we use to block unauthorized access to the network. As we progress in this course, we'll understand the importance of firewalls in our end devices. So larger networks have additional security requirements. So the more your network become complex and cumbersome, the more you need to implement more security measures. So we have the dedicated firewall system, and we have what we call the ACLs, the access control list. We also have the IPS, that is the intrusion prevention systems. And we also have the VPN, which is the virtual private network. Now, the study of network security starts with a clear understanding on the underlying switching and routing infrastructure. That is what you'll be learning in CCNA. That is what CCNA has brought for you. So for you to be able to understand how to protect all the systems, you should be able to understand how all this switching and routing take place. So the IT professional, after having gone through this, what is how could you call yourself a professional? And this is what this topic is talking about. So the Cisco Certified Network and Associate certification. Yes, having that particular certification demonstrates that you have a knowledge of foundational technologies, ensure you stay relevant with skills needed for the adoption of next generation technologies. So the new CCNA focus, the IP foundation and security topics, wireless virtualization, automation, and network programmability. So new DevNet certifications are the associates, specialist levels to validate your software development skills for those of us who are into software development. Specialist certification validate your skills in line with your job roles and interests. And you can see from here, these are the different badges where you get after having completed each of the programs. So from CCNA that to CCIE, then from the DevNet Associate that to the DevNet Expert. So the networking jobs now. So at www.netacad.com, you can click the career menu and select employment opportunities. So after having been certified in this course, you have mastered the course, mastered the labs, and you could beat your chest that yes, you could defend whatever you have studied in this CCNA. You could now go ahead on our career page and click on careers. So in that place, you find employment opportunities by asking the talent bridge matching engine. There's what we call the talent bridge matching engine. With the level of experience and your certification, the talent bridge matching engine can match you to available job opportunities. We search for jobs with Cisco, Cisco partners, and Cisco distributors, seeking Cisco networking academic students and another. Right now, you are still students. After having graduated, you move into the alumni forum. Now, in your course material, you should see a lab. And I want everyone in this course to go through that lab and submit that lab via the email provided. In this lab, you complete the following objective. You will research job opportunities and you reflect on those research. Yes, and this lab is lab 1.9.3. You could see that at the bottom of your left bottom of your screen. That is lab researching IT and networking job opportunities. So you also do the module practice quiz. So you log into your netacad.com page and you take that practice quiz. Now, that brings us to the end of this particular module. So let's do a recap of what we have actually learned today. This module, through the use of networks, we are connected like never before. All computers that are connected to a network and participate directly in network communication are classified as hosts. So every device that participates in network are classified as what? Host devices. Diagram of network often use symbols to represent the different devices and connections that make up a network. And a diagram provides an easy way to understand how devices connect in a large network. The two types of network infrastructure are local area networks and the wide area networks. That is LANs and WANs. Then SOHO, that is the small office, home office, internet connections, include cable, DSL, that is digital signal line, the cellular, the satellite, and the dial-up telephone. These are the kind of connections you will see in your small office and home office. So business internet connection include dedicated leased line, metro Ethernet, and business DSL and satellites. So network architecture refers to the technologies that support the infrastructure and the program services and rules or protocols that move data across the network. And we've talked about that. We said there are 4 basic characteristics of network architecture, which we have the fault tolerance, the scalability, the quality of service it provides, and how secure it is. That is the security. And we have recent networking trends that affect organizations and consumers. We talked about the BYOD, that is the bring your own device, online collaboration, video communication, cloud computing. Those are the recent networking trends that affect our organization and consumers. So there are several common external and internal threats to a network. Yes. So larger networks and corporate network use antivirus, anti-spyware, and firewall filtering. But they also have other security requirements, which are the dedicated firewall system, the access control list, that the ACLs, the IPS, that is the intrusion prevention systems, and the virtual private network. As we go on, we'll talk about the intrusion prevention system, also the intrusion detection systems. Now, the Cisco Certified Network Associates certificate demonstrates your knowledge of foundational technologies. So, and these are the new terms and new commands we've been able to gather from this particular module. We have the peer-to-peer file sharing, that is one device to another end host device. We have the small office, home office, that is SOHO. We have the medium to large network. Talk about the server, the client, the peer-to-peer network, end devices, intermediary devices, medium, network interface card. As we go on, we'll know what this NIC means, the network interface card, which is very, very important in every end device. We have the physical port, we have the interface, we have the physical topology diagram, we have the logical tracer, we have the local area network, the wide area network. So we have internet and intranet. We should note the difference between these two, internet and intranet. We also have extranet. So these are new terms and new commands that you have been able to gather today. We have the internet service provider. We have the converged networks. We have the network architecture, fault tolerant network, packet switched network, circuit switched network, scalable network, quality of service, network bandwidth, and of course the BYOD, collaborations, cloud computing, private clouds, hybrid clouds, public clouds, custom clouds, and these are the types of cloud computing services. Data centers, for which I said that without data centers, the cloud computing will not be in existence. We have the smart home technology, we have the power line networking, we have the WISP, which is what the wireless internet service provider, and we have architecture. Yes, and of course, that brings us to the end of this class. So I urge every one of us here to try as much as possible to go through the labs and some of the labs. You will submit them via the email that was provided to you. So thank you very much. So my colleagues will drop the link where you should submit those labs. So we are taking record of the persons who are actually active on this platform. so that at the end of the day, by the time we start issuing out certificates, you won't have the course come and tell me that you need a certificate, meanwhile you didn't participate actively. So any question before we call it a day? Any question? Yes. Someone said, hope you could get the slides at the end of the session. Yes. Yes. The whatever we have on this slide is included in your course material. So if you log into your platform, you should see everything in this slide there. So you could just do us a favor by going through them and also actually attempting those labs. Any question?
Yeah, I need to confirm. How long is this training? I'm not sure I saw any duration.
Yes, this training is for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. By next week, Friday, we should be rounding up, which we have about 17 modules. Each of the days you have an activity for you. So today is just module 1. Tomorrow we should be looking at module 2, 3, and 4 together. Is that answered?
We have 2 weeks to go through all the labs and attend to them.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I hope we are all on the platform, on the WhatsApp platform. If you are not on the platform, please indicate. All right, Chukwebuka, you are up.
Okay, definitely. I want to ask, the certificate we provide.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Maybe CCNA certified.
Sorry, you're not audible enough.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I think I can.
Okay, I said the certificate will be a CCNA certified certificate or by your company.
No, this is from Cisco Direct. It's not Real Life is an academy that enables you to learn. We offer the services of Cisco. So whatever certification you're going to have is from Cisco itself. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. My colleague has just dropped the WhatsApp link. If you're not there, please try and go in so that you get whatever information we have for you. All right. Thank you very much and have a nice day.